You young men, don't be following the example of this clavicular. I'm telling you right now. That's not what's going to make you succeed in life. Sneako, I don't know what your message is, quite honestly. Nick Fuentes, don't know him. Very, very outspoken, speaks his mind, very intelligent young man. There were no fights. Nobody's conduct was bad in the club. Nothing happened other than the song was played and they were singing to it or whatever. That was it. But to ban these people from all the clubs in Miami? Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. And as always, my friends, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to our God for that. My heart goes out to all of you on the East Coast, Midwest, and a little bit down south that are going through this horrible snowstorm. Boy, I got to tell you, people, I don't miss it. I'm out in Southern California. We have our issues here, but I don't miss the snow in any way, shape, or form. If you go up north, you can, get in the snow and ski and whatever you do, and you come right back to the sunshine. So I feel for you. I really do. I remember those days well. And, when you get a little older, especially, you don't want to go through it. So I hope you're getting through it okay. Topic today, I really wanted to stay out of this entire controversy. I didn't want to comment on it. So many people have. It's going on and on and on and on and on. But I'm getting so many comments. Michael, why are you not talking about this? What is your perspective? What is it that you have to say? And of course, for those of you that are not aware, I'm talking about that whole nightclub incident, the Vendome nightclub in Miami, Florida, that occurred about a week ago. I think it was on the 17th of the month. And there were a group of pretty high profile social media influencers in the club, if you don't know the background on it. So I'm going to talk about it tonight. I'm going to give you my perspective as hopefully a voice of reason in all this. And look, I'm a senior citizen at this point in time. I have a different perspective on things when you reach a certain age and been through the experiences that I've been through. So I'm going to tell you what I feel. And of course, I think you know who is involved in this. Of course, the most high-profile figure, Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan, as you know, good friends of mine. I know some people are already going to say something about that, but they are good friends of mine. Then you have Nick Fuentes, very high-profile social media influencer. You have a fellow by the name of Myron. I was on his podcast down in Miami. And then a fellow by the name of Sneako, had no idea who he was, never heard of him before. And of course, this young kid called Clavicular, I believe his name is. Never heard of him either until this whole incident came up. So, let me give you the whole perspective on this. Like I said, these are social media influencers. Now, I want to tell you something about social media, and you got to understand this. A lot of people come on this platform and they create something about themselves, whether it be a psyche. They come on social media because it's been given us an opportunity to do this. And you talk about, or you get into a niche that you think you can capitalize on, plain and simple. And if anybody tells you different, they're probably not being honest with you. They want to capitalize it. And if you do something well here, if you get a niche, you can get a lot of people to follow you. And let me tell you something, a lot of this is nonsense. I've said this before in other podcasts that I believe social media has become just a bad place in many, many ways. So much misinformation is out there. So much garbage is out on social media. People say different things, do different things just to make a name for themselves and to make some money. And that's the truth. Look, you can accuse me of the same thing. I fell into this during COVID. All my speaking engagements were canceled. And, my team said, come on, you got to go on social media. You got to be doing something. I didn't want to do anything. I said, hey, I haven't been home like this. I'm not traveling in 30 years. What do I need to do that for? After 2, 3, 4 months pounding away at me, they finally convinced me. And in August of 2020, even though I had a YouTube channel, I never went on it. Somebody created it for me. I didn't even know I had it. Didn't even post a video. But we started doing that in 2020, and we've had some success, as many of you know, because the mob stories. That was my niche. I've come out of that a little bit, but still, everybody wants to hear mob stories. I get it. Those that enjoy that genre, great. We've been able to expand a little bit outside of that because people do like my perspective on certain things because I came from the streets and I have a different perspective on issues and politics and so on and so forth. So that's my niche on this here. And hopefully we do it to entertain and to inform people. And I enjoy doing it. And I have very loyal followers, and I appreciate it very much because if it wasn't for all of you out there, we wouldn't be here. And that goes for every social media personality out there, without a doubt. So they come up with these things sometimes, and just my eyes. I roll my eyes on it, but there they are. Who am I to say anything? They have every right to do it, right? Okay. So let's go back and talk about what happened. All right, let me stop you for a second, because if you want real success in 2026, you can't do what everyone else is doing. Common sense. You can't rely on motivation alone. You can't wait for January revolutions that fade by February. And you definitely can't learn everything you need from YouTube. That's out of the question. Starting in 2026, I'm taking my most important lessons. Real strategies, real mindset, real discipline. I'm taking them off this platform and into my private community and school. This is the stuff that helped me go from the life I was living, and you know what that was all about, to building lasting success on the outside. I'm 74 years old. Gotta say there's been some success. No algorithms, no filters, just honest conversations about business, about life, and what it actually takes to win the right way. If 2026 is the year you stop talking about change and you start living it, you want to be in the room with people who are serious about doing the same thing. You can join us at michaelfranzese.com/family. Now let's get back to it. These influencers, they go out for a night on the town and they go to a club called Vendome in Miami, and they're having a good time. And somebody there suggested that they play a song. They gave it to the DJ, or asked the DJ to play a song by Kanye West. I think his name is Ye now. I don't know what he calls himself. It's a song that is not kind to Jews. It's very offensive to Jews. I have to say that. And so they play it and they're singing to it and whatever. And of course, it's picked up on social media. And boom, it goes viral. Everybody's talking about it. The social media guys in the group get condemned. They're banned from every club or many clubs. The owners of the club put out a statement that they don't, support anything like this. They're very upset about it, and on and on and on. And ever since, every single day, it's been on another social media podcast or 10 social media podcasts. Everybody is talking about it. Why? Well, look at the names. Andrew Tate, at one time, the biggest social media influencer on any platform. Huge. His brother Tristan, Nick Fuentes, very, very big social media guy. Myron, he's got a pretty good platform. The other two guys, from what I understand, they're doing pretty good, but I don't really know about them. I don't know anything. I looked into it a little bit so I can speak intelligently about this and give you my perspective. So let me tell you this. The song was very offensive. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. Very offensive. People, let me tell you something. Whether you like the Jews or not, okay, it's just not nice to go out and offend people, period. Now, of course, this is at an all-time high because ever since, the war in Gaza, we've seen anti-Semitism at its peak here in the United States and maybe throughout the world. I don't know, but certainly here in the United States. And so, rightfully so, the Jews are very offended by this. And I understand it. And I guess if I was a Jew, I would be too. I don't like when people call me a wop or a guinea or say anything like that about Italians. We don't like it. Joe Colombo started the Italian American Civil Rights League. Why? Because he felt Italians were being slandered, that everybody's in the mob. If you got a vowel in the end of the name, you're a mafia guy. Wasn't right. So yes, you get offended when people offend your ethnicity or your nationality or whatever. So the Jews are rightfully so offended. A lot of Jews in Miami, they own a lot of the clubs down there. Powerful group of people, you have to say that, even nationwide. So there is an offense. Now, did they take it to the extreme? Well, again, that's subjective. But from what I understand, these influencers now are banned from a lot of clubs because they played that song. Well, let me give you my feeling on that. They have a right to ban them if they want. They really do. if this wasn't on social media, it wouldn't have been that big a deal. And I will say this, nobody got hurt as a result of it. There was no fight in the club. Nobody was injured as a result of it. They were singing the song, a very offensive song. But what happened? Really nothing. What happened was it went out on social media. That was it. And people got offended. That was it. And again, they have a right to be offended. But how extreme are they taking this? Everybody is talking about it. Some of the social influencers are blaming the other social influencers. Now they're fighting among one another. Who has to defend themselves? Back and forth. It's crazy. It's silly. And let me just say this. I want to bring this up. Why do I say it's to an extreme? All right, they offended the Jewish people, no doubt about it. But again, nobody in the club got hurt. There was no fights. Nothing of any consequence, serious, happened as a result of them playing this song, other than that they offended people at a time when anti-Semitism is on everybody's mind. It's at a peak. People don't like the Jews. The Jews are very offended. I get it. And it's wrong. It's 100% wrong. No matter what ethnic group it is, you just don't do that. But they didn't write the song. Don't blame them for that. They asked the DJ to play it. That was it. That was the extent of what they did. Again, a very offensive song. They didn't write the song. They didn't create the song. And as far as I understand, most recently, Kanye West apologized for writing the lyrics to that song. He said that he was in a bad frame of mind. He apologized for the insults to the Jewish people. That's recent. Okay, but I saw it and I read what he said. If he's sincere, great. Okay, so he offended people. Nobody got hurt. They take it to an extreme. Let me tell you this. Let me ask you this, and why I'm saying they took it to an extreme. Let me just give you this information here. How about rap music? Do you hear some of the lyrics in rap music that are played in clubs all the time? Some of them extremely extreme. Some of them did get banned from being played in the clubs because they were extreme. But the person that wrote the song didn't get banned from the club. But these 5 influencers are being banned from the club because they asked the DJ to play it. That's what I'm saying, it's extreme. Now let me give you some examples. Eminem in 2009, he wrote a song called Stay Wide Awake. And this is what the song was about. A first-person serial killer narrative where Eminem describes drugging, stalking, raping, and murdering women in vivid step-by-step horror detail. It's widely regarded as one of the most unsettling tracks in his catalog for its cold, predatory focus on female victims. Horrible, horrible stuff. And many rap songs, maybe not to this very extreme, are very violent. We know that. And they're very derogatory towards women, towards police, towards others. The people that wrote the song, they don't get banned from going into a club. Maybe the music does. Well, the music wasn't banned in Vendome. If it was, the DJ wouldn't have played it. And I don't know what happened as a result of that. Maybe the DJ got in trouble. I don't know. Maybe he got fired. I don't know, because the owners of the club were pretty upset. But to ban these people from all the clubs in Miami, a little bit extreme. Let me continue. Another rap song from Eminem. Same Song and Dance. Another from the same album. This one escalates with fantasies of kidnapping, drugging, sexually assaulting, and killing young women with celebrity references. The detached delivery and graphic imagery make it particularly disturbing in its portrayal of targeted violence against females. Horrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Probably worse than whatever they said about, Hitler. I think they were praising Hitler, who shouldn't be praised. Very offensive. Hitler was an animal, as far as I'm concerned. You may agree with me, you may not. He was an animal. What he did caused the, killing and murdering of 6 million Jews. That's an animal, in my opinion. Okay, so yes, very offensive. But any more offensive than this? Drugging, sexually assaulting, murdering women? Where are all the women groups? Where is everybody, yelling about that? He wasn't banned from the clubs. Eminem wasn't. Let me continue. Just making a point. Eminem again. Oh no, Tyler, the Creator. Song called Tron Cat. 2011. Early Tyler shock rap style peaks here with lines threatening rape, violence, and murder against women, delivered in a very aggressive manner. Tracks like this from his old Future era sparked major backlash for their extreme misogyny and violent fantasies, but he wasn't banned from any clubs. You get my point? Look, it was wrong as far as I'm concerned. It wouldn't have been a big deal if it wasn't played, if it didn't go viral on social media, because these influencers were there and they're all extremely high profile. I don't like what's happening afterwards. They're all blaming one another. Not all of them, but they're blaming one another. You did this, you said that. They're going on different podcasts and they're saying all of that. You know, this is where social media becomes just a pit of garbage. Really, listen, I understand. When I first came on social media, guys that I never met and never heard of were bad-mouthing me. They were getting views. It was clickbait, whatever I never even heard of these guys. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't respond to any of them because I wasn't going to fall for that. I don't think it's the right forum to air out your differences. I really don't. As a matter of fact, when one guy started calling me out, I said, hey, you know where I am. I'm very public. Why don't you come and say it to my face? You got to go on social media? I don't like it. I think it's wrong. Whatever genre you're in, whatever it's about, this is not what you do. Now, you can talk about a particular topic, a particular subject. You could talk about what people said if you disagree and it affects other people. Of course, that's what media people do. But to just attacking people for the sake of attacking them and getting views, no, I don't go for it. And I don't think it's the right thing to do in any way, shape, or form. Now, let me get to them individually. Nick Fuentes, don't know him. Very, very outspoken, speaks his mind, very intelligent young man. No question about it. He was in the club that night. You know, sometimes you could be in a particular place and something occurs. You're with a bunch of people. You're in a particular place. Something occurs. What do? You get up and leave? Do you make more of a scene, or you just sit there and, oh, maybe I shouldn't be in this spot, but here I am. It happened. What am I going to do? Get up and run away? You know, no. So you sit there, you're not happy, you're with somebody, maybe you didn't even know them. Look, I've been in those situations in the past. Quite honestly, there were times when I did get up, and say, look, it's time for me to go. For whatever reason, I didn't make a big deal out of it, and I didn't say why. I just felt I shouldn't be there at that point in time, and I got up and left. It happens. But sometimes you're there in a position, okay, no big deal, I'm here. Let me just ride this out. You make a decision at the moment. It could be the right one. It could be the wrong one. Who knows? Nick Fuentes, he got on a couple of podcasts. I listened to him. And, he was talking about a few other people in the group. And, I got to say this about Nick, he never went to a club. That was his first time. He doesn't drink. From what I understand, he hasn't been with a woman yet before he's married. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I don't say there's anything wrong with that. So he went that night and he gets caught up in this whole thing. Now, he's had some very strong views about everything. Nick talks, he's got strong views about everything. So, you know what? He got on his podcast and he started talking about some of the incidents and some of the things that some of the other people said. I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm not going to respond to every single one of them. This guy Sneako and Clavicular. Let me just tell you this. For all you young men out there, all right? This guy Clavicular, he's a 20-year-old kid, right? 20-year-old kid. I don't know where he got, like I said, this is his niche. This is his thing. He's a good-looking kid, allegedly. So now he wants to tell everybody how important their appearance, their looks are, and what they have to do, because if you're a good-looking person, you got a big advantage in life. And he talked about something about hitting his face with a hammer or something, smashing the blood vessels in his face, getting his chin reconstructive. What are you talking about? For all you young men out there, let me tell you this. You know what's attractive to women? Being a man and conducting yourself like a man. It's not your looks that are so important. It's your appearance that's important. What do I mean by that? How you carry yourself, how you dress yourself, how you appear at a meeting for a job or an interview, or when you have to sit down with people. The words that come out of your mouth, the integrity that you have, that all has to do with your appearance, not so much your looks. Let me tell you something. Women want a man that has a good appearance, that conducts himself properly, that acts like a man, that will protect a woman when the time comes or the need is there, that can support a woman, whether she's self-supportive or not, it doesn't matter. A woman wants a man that can support him and her. Trust me on that. It's not what you look like. It's what your entire appearance is about. That's what it's all about. You young men, don't be following the example of this clavicular. I'm telling you right now. That's not what's going to make you succeed in life. There are many good-looking people out there, people, both men and women, that after they open their mouth or you spend 10 minutes with them, you don't even want to see them again. Trust me on that. You don't even want to be around them or in their company. Their looks only take them, their looks might get them in the door, and pretty soon their mouth and their appearance will get them out the door. Does it help? You know, if you're a good look, it depends. If your appearance in every way matches your looks, great. Really great. But your good looks alone, if you don't have the rest of the package, not going to get you anywhere. Guys, trust me on that. I've seen guys that you certainly wouldn't consider the best looking people on the planet, but they have good looking women with them because they're men and they conduct themselves the right way. And that woman is attracted to that, their manliness. That's what's important. You know, these other things, you know, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. You want to watch it to be entertained, that's up to you. But don't follow something like that. Clavicular, I'm not knocking you. You know, you're trying to make a living on there. You're trying to get some status. I get it. But you are a good-looking kid. You know, have a good message to match. Maybe people will pay attention even more, and you'll really be helping people. You're not helping guys by telling them to smash their face. You know, and you're getting surgery on your chin to look a certain way, on your jaw, I should say. What do you need that for? Again, I'm talking to you like I would tell my son. You're a good-looking guy. Use it to your advantage, and not in the way you're doing it. Be a good example to young men. Really, talk to them about their appearance. Tell them how their appearance can make them equally as attractive as you might be just from your looks. That's the message that you should be giving them. Sneako, I don't know what your message is, quite honestly. I know you're on there and you're talking about a lot of things that happened that night. You're capitalizing it on social media. I get it. I understand it. You know, but role models, you know, look, I'm all about young men becoming adult men. I'm sorry, I've been preaching that message for years. In prisons, in detention centers, in juvenile halls, to gang members. Telling them how to get away from the street life, how to conduct themselves properly, how to get their appearance right, how to speak right, how to keep their word, how to hold their head up high, how to protect women. When a man is acting like a man should act, it's a benefit to a woman. I mean, this is the message that you should be giving. Now let's get to Nick. You know, you're across the board on every field. And listen, like I said, you're an intelligent guy. I'm not going to knock that. You're very outspoken. I get it. You say what's on your mind. I appreciate that. Whether I agree with you or not, that's a different story. But you say what's on your mind. And from what I've heard from you, okay. You know, continue. Continue. Let me get to Andrew and Tristan Tate. And let me tell you something. When I have a friend, they're my friends. I may not agree with everything they say. They may not agree with everything that I say. But I understand them. I've spent a lot of time with them. A lot of time. And so has my wife and daughter. In their company, many times. Would I trust them? Absolutely. And don't give me the whole mob thing. Well, of course. No. I trust them because I see how they conduct themselves off of social media. They're good men. They come up the hard way. Really the hard way. They had a very tough childhood, and they worked their way up, and they found their niche. And let me tell you something, two very intelligent guys. I challenge anybody to sit down with Tristan and get into any historical subject in command of history. That I sit down with them and say, wow, you know, they're very smart guys, and I give them credit for where they are today. Now let's get to, okay, are they offensive to women? Yes, at times I believe they are. No question about it. Have I seen them with their women? Yes. Are they offensive then? No. Are the women treated well? Yes. I have to tell you that. My wife and daughter spoke with the women that they're with. Great. No problem whatsoever. They're well treated. Let's get to this. But do I agree with everything that they say all the time about women? No. I mean, Andrew recently was talking about Latin women. I married a Mexican girl. So listen. But I understand what's behind it. I get it. And let me tell you something. There's beautiful women all over the world. I don't care whether they're from Russia, China, Timbuktu, as we say. A beautiful woman is a beautiful woman, period. But I understand where Andrew is coming from, and I place it in that context. I get it. I really do. Now, I want to tell you this, and I want to address this as important. And I'm saying these are my friends. I don't back down from my friends. And then I'm going to get specifically to the incident that night. But let me say this. I have these young men, because they were so outspoken about men being men. They have the university online. They speak to men all the time. They have a huge following, because they came at a time where men were being denigrated all over the damn world, feminized, and nobody was standing up for them. Nobody. When Andrew exerted himself in that way, it was attractive to men. And the woke society that we've been living in for the past 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, I don't know how long it is, okay, immediately went after him for it. Oh, how do you tell men to be men and so offensive to women? And then they got into the OnlyFans thing. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of people took advantage of OnlyFans. Women that came to men to help support them so that they can make a buck on OnlyFans. And if you're going to get mad at that, get mad at the person that created OnlyFans. Because he's the one that gave that platform to women, to put scanty clothing on and to engage in practically pornography to make a buck. People are doing it and they're taking advantage of it. So if Andrew and Tristan, I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you right now, it's not my thing. I'm happily married for 40 years and I've got 5 daughters, and I better not catch any one of them on OnlyFans. I don't want them on that platform. That's me personally. But I'm not going to knock everybody else that's on the platform for whatever reason they needed or wanted or chose to get on there. It's not for me. Doesn't mean if I have a friend that's doing it, I may say, hey, I don't like it, but you're still my friend. I disagree with that. Now, there are extremes to that, obviously, but I want to tell you this. Andrew and Tristan have been accused of criminal conduct in several places, and not one place, Romania included, where they were indicted and spent several months in jail. The charges were garbage. They've just about all been thrown out. Not one woman that made a complaint was credible. Not one. And that goes for the same in Florida and in California and the United Kingdom. There's been no credibility to anything these women said. Now, I got to tell you something. I'm sorry, okay? And don't give me the misogynistic thing, because I have 5 daughters. I am extremely supportive of women, and all my daughters are very independent, and so is my wife. And I'm not a misogynist in any way, shape, or form. It would be ridiculous to even accuse me of anything like that. It would be ridiculous, okay? But there are women out there that are going to capitalize on a guy if they could, financially or other way. We know that. We know that. So maybe, I don't know the entire story. I just know that they weren't proved to be credible in every one of these cases. Every single one of them. So no credibility there. And this is not something I'm just making up. This is the facts. The case in Romania is going away. The case in California where the girl complained, they refused to indict based upon that. Wasn't credible. Miami, they tried to do the same thing. Not credible. These guys have a bullseye on their back. A bullseye. United Kingdom, who knows? But in the United Kingdom now, you get in trouble for saying something online the wrong way. I mean, I went to United Kingdom to do a speaking tour, and they practically locked me up and threw me out of the country because I took a photo with Andrew Tate. That was it. They saw a photo. It was in front of Parliament. They called me a misogynist. for taking a photo with Andrew Tate. And I challenged all of them. They tried to, they were closing down all the venues. They threatened the venues that if they held my tour that night, my engagement, that they would take their business license away. And these were all paid, sold out performances. You don't know what I had to go through because I took a picture with Andrew Tate. And let me tell you this, not one incident, not one so far, has there been of any young man doing any damage to any woman because of anything that Andrew Tate said. And believe me, if an incident happened anywhere in the world, we would know about it. Not any one man in the university that he has, and he has hundreds of thousands from what I understand, big numbers, nowhere have we heard of any incident. Now we hear some woke teachers and everything out there saying, oh, Andrew Tate has a bad influence. Well, how do you know that? Because you disagree with him? Has there been any incidents that you can report? Is there any evidence to support that? The answer is no, because we haven't heard it and we would have heard it. That's it. And I'm not denigrating the women. I'm just saying they haven't been credible. And if they had been credible, they'd be back in jail. So far, nothing. In all of these years. And I know for a fact, I've spoken to his attorneys. I've been involved in the case. I've read statements that were made with respect to the case. The case was garbage. They're throwing it out. Practically over. And I believe the same thing will happen in the UK that happened in California and happened in Florida. Now, it's not popular in many ways to support Andrew Tate. It's not popular. So, you know, people, they're afraid. I'm not. He's a friend. And I got to tell you something. And let me clear this up. I have no business with him. We have no financial transactions. If we do in the future, we do. Nothing's on the drawing board. Nothing's planned. Okay? So I have no business relationship with them. None whatsoever. And I'll liken this to, you know, because I support them, because they're my friends, people have a hard time understanding that. You know, the same way people have a hard time, I get accused all the time for supporting Trump, like, oh, you're in his pocket or he's paying you off. Paying you off for what? Trump's a billionaire. What does he got to pay me for? I don't know Donald Trump. Yes, I was on Lara Trump's podcast. She was on mine. Yes, I had Eric Trump on a podcast. Yes, I know Roger Stone. I know people all around Trump. I have nothing to do with Trump business-wise. Nor do I expect anything. I'm 75 years old. I don't need Donald Trump. You know what I need Donald Trump for? What America needs Donald Trump for? What the world needs Donald Trump for? To make this country and put it back in shape after that disaster of the 4 years that we had with Joe Biden. You don't want to admit it. You don't want to talk about it. And that's what I tell people. I support Donald Trump's policies. Period. End of story. End of story. I support his policies. Period. So don't give me any of this other stuff. It's nonsense. And when it comes to Andrew and Tristan Tate, they're my friends for good reason, because I believe that they're good people. Now, do good people do wrong things sometimes? Yeah, I did many wrong things for 30 years on the street. Okay? Cleaned up my act, transformation, believe in Jesus Christ? Yeah. And I'll tell you this, Andrew Tate's a Muslim, okay? Good in that regard. I pray that he comes back to Christianity. And I know some of the Muslims will be, I have many Muslim friends. I don't knock anybody's, unless you're a Satanist, I do not knock anybody's faith. I don't believe in your faith, but I don't knock it. I don't. I believe Christianity is the one true faith. I believe the only way to get to heaven is through Jesus Christ. I believe that with all my heart. Doesn't make me perfect, but that's what I believe. And because Andrew is my friend and Tristan, who is already a Christian, I will talk to Andrew about my faith. I don't push it on him. I'm not trying to convert him. I'm sharing information with him because I would love to see him come back to his faith. That's all I can say. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. You know, we have a free will in this life. Remember that. So, and I have to tell you this too. You know, Andrew shared something with me that was very significant to me. I'm going to leave it at that because it's very personal. It was very significant. So, and as a result of that, it bonded our friendship even more. Now, again, for all you ladies out there, let me tell you, I do not approve of some of the things that he says online. I do not. I'm telling you right now, and he knows that. I don't approve. We have different thoughts in that process. Okay? But I know him as a person. I know Tristan as a person. And as a result of that, they're my friends. Let's get back to what happened in the club that night. Of course, the main attention is going on Andrew. Why not? You know, he's the main guy there. Well, Andrew didn't ask to play the song. I'm not going to say who did. I don't even know if it's true. It doesn't matter. The song was played. He didn't bring the song forward. As a matter of fact, I don't even believe he knew. I don't know if he knew Clavicular before that night or any of those guys. They all decided to go out together. I understand from what I heard. I don't even know what this is. And believe, I haven't spoken to Andrew or Tristan about this. Not one word. We have not spoken. I will see them in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to Dubai. They're going to be there. We're going to get together. No question. Okay, but here, I understand Nick Fuentes, who had never been to a club, they asked to bring him because this was his first time and he went. And then this whole thing happened. But, you know, to put all the blame on Andrew, and that's where it's going, it's ridiculous. He didn't play the song. He didn't ask to play the song. He was there. For those of you that got offended because he was joining in the group, okay, you have a right to be offended if that song offended you. I get it. And I think he does too. He understands that. Look, I'm not an anti-Semite. I don't agree with anti-Semitism. You know, why do you blame Jews here in the United States for what's going on in Gaza? If you're upset with Netanyahu and what's going on there. All right, so to be anti-Semitic and what's going on in this country, it's terrible. You don't do that. You just don't do it. But that's my opinion. Okay, and I'm sure I'm going to get the $7,000 comments, those really ridiculous comments, and you must be on the, I don't know what the $7,000 means, but I get that all the time now because I'm not an anti-Semite. I guess you have to be an anti-Semite to please those people, but I'm not doing that. It's the same thing now because I mentioned Trump. Believe me, I'm going to get a ton of comments about Trump. I'm in his pocket, and just all stupid stuff. Quite honestly, it really is. But it's okay. Fire away. I get it. Social media. So what's the bottom line in all of this? As the elder statesman, let me call myself that, the elder statesman of this group, I'm going to say this. I think it was wrong in playing that song because it is an offensive song. The same with all the rap music that's out there. If somebody were out there and Eminem, and that song by Eminem was played, and people were talking, it would be horrible. Strangling, kidnapping, violence against women. It's horrible. It's wrong. And yes, it was offensive, so maybe it shouldn't have been done. Nobody would have known about it if it wasn't for those major influencers there, Andrew in the lead, and of course because it went viral. But again, understand this. Nobody got hurt. There were no fights. Nobody's conduct was bad in the club. Nothing happened other than the song was played and they were singing to it or whatever. That was it. So yes, they want to issue an apology. Hey, you know what? Maybe it wasn't bad, Tate. Maybe we shouldn't have done it. Maybe not. You know, why raise the temperature a little bit more in this country? Maybe we shouldn't have done it. Okay, you could say that. But to the extent that's going on now, banned from all the clubs and all of this, and Andrew's probably going to have more of a headache because of this. And I don't think that's deserved. I'm sorry. You're in a club, you're playing an offensive song. Okay, it should end there. Make an apology, say it was wrong, don't ever do it again, whatever, done. But to take it to this extent, come on. I mean, really, it's enough. We don't do, with all the things that are going on the street about anti-Semitism, and it's still happening to a large degree. We don't take that as far as we took this. But again, offensive, and people, I have many Jewish friends, like it or not. Yes, I do. Solid Jewish friends. So, you know, that's my 2 cents, people, as the elder statesman. So again, to repeat, Clavicular, you're a young man at 20 years old. You got a lot to learn, my friend. I understand. You found your niche, but you can do better. You're a good-looking kid. Use it the right way. Try to be a positive influence to young men, because let me tell you something. I don't want to go without saying this. Gen Z, this generation, They're thinking differently. They're not drinking. The alcohol business, the wine business is down, except for Franzese wine. We're way up. I got to tell you, positive. Why? Because we do things a little different. We got a great product. We do things a little differently. Okay, but Gen Z, they're buying more Bible. Gen Z men, young men are buying more Bibles than any time in history. They're looking for purpose in life, and they're finding it through the teachings of Jesus Christ, the only true man's man that ever walked the face of the earth. You want a role model? And I'm talking to you, Clavicular. You want a role model? Read the New Testament. Read about a real man, not about a gangster, not about a mobster, not about any of these other people. Read about a real man. That's who you should pattern yourself. And all of you young men listening, that's what you should do. Remember, your appearance. So use your good looks to help these young men have the right appearance, not to smash their faces. It's going to get them nowhere, but maybe in a hospital. Use it. Use the gift that God gave you of good looks and really help young men, because you have a following now. Turn it around. And I understand, you're 20 years old, you're looking to make a living, you found a niche, you're a good-looking guy. Use it to your advantage, because what you're doing now is going to go away. It's not going to last. Trust me on that. It's not going to last. Sneako, you're a little bit older. I don't know what your thing is, so I can't really talk about it. But I can tell you this, getting on social media and knocking the people, you you all went together as one group. Starting to knock one another back and forth, it's not a good look. I can tell you that. And you're doing it so that, comments come out and they support you. And I get the whole social media game, people. I've been on this for 5 years, and I get it. I understand it. And I don't want to knock people that are making their niche and making some money and getting some popularity. I get it. I understand it. But you know what? Be productive with it. Use it in the right way. And I have to say this, it's offensive to me when you guys come out and knock women. It really is. I got a beautiful wife that I'm married to for 40 years. We've had our ups and downs. Don't get me. 40 years, you're a survivor. Let me tell you something. Because every day isn't a sunny day. No question about it. You have your ups and downs. But our foundation in our marriage, even through the tough times, and there have been many, it's in God. We understand we made this commitment to one another, and through hell or high water, we're going to try to keep it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. We've been blessed and fortunate through all the tough times. We've been together. And I love and respect my wife. My daughter's the same thing. I love and respect my daughters. I wouldn't stand for anybody being disrespectful to any one of my daughters. No way. Not going to stand for it. I'm sorry. Because I protect them. That's my job. As a man, not only as a father, as a man. Women want that feeling. And you're not taking their independence away. Believe me, I'm going to tell you something. I just today, with my pizza business, met a woman that was in charge of a huge operation. And the knowledge that she had, and the way she conducted herself, and the way she was multitasking. There are women that can perform jobs a lot better than men. One woman in a major chain in this country, the most respected person, not only woman, the most respected person in the industry for the product that she displays in the entire industry. And she's got a chain of stores, over 4,000 stores underneath her. But she's known throughout the entire industry. Very bright. She loves her husband. Her husband's still the man of the house. We've had this conversation. She's told me that. No, I want my husband's still the man of the house. Doesn't take my independence away. But there's certain things I expect from my husband. He's my protector. He's my provider also. Doesn't matter that I'm earning a living. My husband's very self-sufficient and takes care of the family. You know what that means? Women are not demeaned when men act like men. They appreciate it. And so many women today, the reason that many of them are still single is because they haven't found a good man. No, and that's it. And don't tell me it's old school. It's old school, it's new school, it's the right school. That's it. Okay, let me address it before I get it in the comments. Mob guys didn't treat their women right. That's not true. That's not true. You screwed around as a made guy with another man's wife, daughter, sister, mother, niece, you're dead. And yes, I know of incidents where that happened. You're dead. You don't mess with a woman like that. I'm sorry. Are there incidents? Do guys do the wrong thing? Yes. But as an organization, do we allow for that? No, we do not. I'm sorry. Now, you know, there's a bad apple in every bunch, but we don't allow for that as an organization. We got to respect our women. You know, respect your women. I don't appreciate denigrating women, and I won't do it. Sorry. You know, it's just who I am. It's how I was brought up and how a man should be. You know, why? I mean, the thought of transsexual men or whatever they're called, okay, when they get that transformation, they shouldn't be playing sports with women. Biologically, they're superior. It's a fact. They should not be playing with women. It can be dangerous for women. It's unfair to women. And anybody that supports it is out of their mind. And it's wrong. And if they support it for political reasons, shame on them. Really, you want to be a transsexual? Get their own division. Let them play among themselves. Or let them play with men. They're still men, right? They still got men's bodies. Let them play with men. What's wrong with that? And then they can go be a woman when they want. Why should they be able to change in a woman's locker room? Come on. Another reason why I support Trump, because that's what he's for. So it's his policy. Look, you know, the bottom line on this again, we have to treat people the right way. You know, I've said this many times. One of the greatest assets you can have in your life, the greatest assets, is to be a people person. It doesn't mean you have to be out there. What it means is let people like you. Let them respect you. Not everybody. You're always going to have a disagreement with somebody. But in general, your greatest asset in life can be a people person. And I've said this many times. I am not a brilliant businessman. I've had success in business and good success, but I'm not a brilliant businessman. I'm not. Jeff Bezos is probably better than me. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, yeah. Okay? They've gone farther than I have. I've had my success, which is great for me. But one thing that I have succeeded in, I know how to treat people. I know how to treat them. Because it's my appearance, I would hope at 75 years old, has been a benefit to me because I know how to handle people. That's the bottom line. That's one of your greatest assets. If you can master that, it's a great asset. Really. You don't want to make enemies in life. You don't want to walk into a room and people want to turn their heads, or when you walk out of the room, they want to talk about you because you didn't conduct yourself properly. You didn't appear, the right way. I told you, if you're not a people person and people can't take to you, you better be damn good at your trade. There's doctors that have a horrible bedside manner, but they're the best at what they do. Well, okay, don't talk to me, cure me. He's a great auto mechanic. I don't want to talk to the guy, but man, when I bring my car in, car's perfect. Okay, I don't have to socialize with this guy, but he fixes my car pretty well. But if you don't have that talent, you better be a people person. That's what gets you into the door. That's what forms relationships. That's when people want to bring you opportunities. That's when you create opportunities. Trust me on this. Trust me. So, bottom line, people, let this thing go. They're not going to let it go because they're going to continue talking about it. But it'll wear itself out, I'm sure. But again, going back to my friend, Andrew and Tristan Tate, and I know I'll hear about it, but listen, my background? I was 20 years in the street. You could actually go to Andrew, what are you doing with that guy? It's been a long time, but you know, it goes that way. So I don't look at people that way. I'm sorry. You know, and again, these are my friends. I know them well. I support them. I'll be there for them if they need me. Fortunately, they're doing okay. But they're getting a lot of stuff because of who they are with this. And if it wasn't for that, this incident wouldn't have even lasted 5 minutes. The song would have ended and it would have been over. So to take it to the extreme that they took it, no, enough already. And all you guys on social media, leave it alone. Let it go. Not benefiting you. You might get a couple of more views, make a few extra pennies this month, but that's it. Let it go. Move on. Be productive. Use your talent to bring people to you the right way. You know? Clavicular. Stop pounding your face. Use your good looks to be an inspiration to people. They're looking at you. Give them the right message. Trust me, in the long run. What you're doing now, it's not going to last. Not going to last. You'll see. And you know, I think there was somewhere about taking drugs. Don't do that. Don't encourage anybody to do drugs. Please. I'm telling you this as an elder statesman, as a father figure, if you want to say. I don't care what you do. Don't do it. And don't you do it. Please, very personal to me. I've seen too many people lose some kind of drugs in a big way, lose their life, and many, many, many other horrible things. All right, so I guess that's all I have to say about the matter. Give me your comments, but you know what, people? Comment intelligently, because if the comments are not intelligent, we don't look them in anyway. We just dismiss them. Be intelligent. Add something to the conversation. Disagree with me all you want, but do it intelligently. And you know, if you want to, I'm not getting personal with any one of you, but you know, I'll get personally attack me because I have a point of view that you don't agree with. I'm not personally coming after you. All right, if you're a trans person, maybe you're going to take that personal, even though it's not directed at you personally, it's directed at the lifestyle or whatever it is that you chose. You want to come at me? Come on at me. I get it. And I'll respond, maybe I won't. Okay? But you know, to comment intelligently, to comment in a way that we can have a debate or we can have a discussion. I don't answer all my comments. Of course, we get thousands. I can't do that. Sometimes my team will jump in. We try because we like to hear what you have to say. But when it's just stupid or it gets too personal or there's 15 profanities before I get to the word, we don't bother. So don't knock yourself out. Save it. Nobody else is going to look at it anyway. All right? So hopefully, you know, we accomplished something. You got my point of view, whether you like it, you don't like it. I had to weigh in on it. So the bottom line, let me leave it with this. Yes, the music was offensive. I don't agree with it. Kanye West apologized for it. It was probably wrong to play the song that night. It brought up the temperature on anti-Semitism. We don't need that. We don't need it. Whether you have that view or not, we don't need it. Okay? We have enough divisiveness in this country against left and right and all these other views. We don't need to add another one to it. It's not accomplishing anything. You're not going to get rid of the Jews. There's no reason to do it. All you're doing is raising the temperature, and we don't need it. We have enough going on with ICE in Minnesota and all this. We don't need it. Be constructive. Say something that's going to benefit somebody. If you disagree with something, state your reasons why intelligently. Be a benefit. You don't do that. And then we're okay. And then maybe we'll accomplish something. But I've said this, social media has become a cesspool of just misinformation, derogatory stuff. Don't add to it. That's my advice. And again, elder statesman, you can take it for what it's worth. You can leave it. You can dismiss it. You can click me off. Do whatever you want to do. But that's my opinion on it. So, how do I always leave you, my friends? Same way. Not going to change. Be safe. And you know what I say? Let me tell you something, people. You ladies and you guys, protect your women. If a person out there is with a gun, an ICE agent, a cop, anybody with a gun, don't antagonize them. Because it might end up bad for you. Don't antagonize them. I'm telling you right now, It doesn't go to your benefit. And all you paid protesters, you're putting your life at stake for no reason. Don't do it. Men, don't allow your woman to be put in that situation. Exert yourself. Don't let them, because they're vulnerable. People with guns can hurt you. Common sense. Be safe out there. Be healthy. I have just spoken to somebody. I had a long conversation about red light therapy. I'm into it. My friends swear by it. Friends that I trust. I'm into it. I'm going to talk more about it. When something I think can be to your benefit, I've been trying to benefit people spiritually and as a mentor for the past 30 years. If physically I can help do the same thing and I believe in it and I vet the person that I'm speaking to, I'm going to bring it to your attention. And I'm going to bring it in a interview about red light therapy. I think it's something that can be really helpful at a price without spending zillions of dollars on things. And it's been proven. Many, many studies have shown that it really does help. Regenerates the cells, stimulates new cells, stem cells. It's great. And that's the key, to longevity in this life and to living a healthy life. So be safe, be healthy. And yes, I mean this, people. And I really mean it. God bless each and every one of you. God bless all of you who've been following me. Thank you. God bless your families, your citizens, your fellow citizens, your neighborhoods, your communities, your loved ones. And people, God bless America, because America needs God's blessing. We really do. This country is every day you turn on the news and it's something else. And I know I've diverted here, from what people normally like to hear from me, but hopefully you've been asking for this, so I delivered for you tonight. For those of you that asked, hopefully I satisfy you in one way or the other. So that's it. And yes, I'll see you next time. A lot of good stuff coming up, my friends. I'm going to be in Dubai, but I'll be talking to you from Dubai. I'm going there for a number of reasons, meeting a lot of people, got a little business maybe I'm going to transact there. And I've heard some wonderful things about Dubai. It'll be my first trip there. And but I'll be in touch with you throughout that time, and we'll keep putting the content forward. So that's it. I'll see you next time. Take care.